What makes a good commuter bike? Depends who you ask. We went through 20 different answers. Cheap ones that run forever, expensive ones with all the tech, electric ones that make your neighbors stare and forget they were watering the lawn. Reality is, your perfect commute bike isn't the same as mine. It's whether your back hurts, your wallet bleeds, or you're grinning at every stoplight. Starting from the best to worst, you'll be embarrassed if you have the last one. Let's get into it. Starting with Honda NC750X. This thing gets 58 horsepower, which sounds boring until you realize it's tuned for low-end grunt. Smart in a way most motorcycles aren't, because instead of a gas tank up top, there's a frunk, 23 liters. Your helmet disappears in there, plus your laptop and lunch. No more sweaty backpack on your commute. You're leaping from stoplights without screaming the engine. 478 pounds wet means it's stable at 70 miles per hour, but won't fight you in parking lots. 67 miles per gallon in actual use. That's 5 cents per mile. Fill it up every 4 or 5 days on a normal commute. Costs about $12. Here's the thing though, you can get it with DCT. That's Honda's automatic transmission. Costs an extra $1,000, but your left hand does absolutely nothing in stop-and-go traffic. Fresh wrists when you get to the office. Insurance is cheap, $280 a year if you're 40 with a clean record. Rear tire lasts 8 to 10,000 miles. People run these to 120,000 miles with zero drama. It just works. That's the whole point. Coming in at number 2, the CB500X. This is the lightest adventure bike you can buy. 438 pounds. Matters more than you think when you're wrestling it into a parking spot after a long day. 70 miles per gallon. Best fuel economy in the top 5. 4.8 cents per mile. The 17.7-liter tank holds enough for 280 miles, so you're filling up maybe once a week. Seat's a bit tall at 32.7 inches. If you're under 5'6", budget $150 for the low seat kit. Ground clearance is 7.1 inches. Potholes just disappear underneath you. Stock windscreen is garbage above 65 miles per hour though. 120 gets you a Puig replacement that actually works. What's great is the posture. Totally upright. 90-minute commute, and your back feels fine. Insurance is $220 a year, cheapest in this class. Rear tire goes 9,000 miles. Front goes 12. Parts are at every Honda dealer. It's $7,600 and bulletproof. Hard to beat that value proposition for daily use. Third place goes to the Versys 650. 67 horsepower with this perfect mid-range punch that makes highway merges feel effortless. 483 pounds, heaviest here. But that weight keeps you planted when trucks blow past at 70. Here's why commuters actually love this thing. The tank is 21 liters. 300 miles of real range. You legitimately forget where gas stations are because you're stopping maybe twice a month. 47 miles per gallon isn't spectacular on paper, but when you're going 300 miles between fills, it doesn't matter. Factory heated grips for $250 change winter commuting completely. Your hands stay warm, you stay alert, you keep riding when everyone else parks their bike. Stock seat gets firm after 75 minutes. Most people fix it with an AirHawk cushion for $180. Panniers hold 28 liters each side. Full grocery run on the way home. The parallel twin never buzzes your hands numb. 2 hours in the saddle, your wrists still feel fine. Insurance, $300 a year. Parts everywhere. Dealers everywhere. It's not the cheapest or the fastest, but it makes long commutes disappear. That's what matters. At number 4, the V-Strom 650. 70 horsepower from a V-twin that shoves you from down low. You see a gap, you're in it. The legendary thing here is the seat. Actually comfortable for 2-3 hours without stopping. Most bikes start hurting after an hour. This one doesn't. That alone makes it worth considering if your commute is long. 20-liter tank gets you 260 miles. Fill up once a week, move on with your life. 45 miles per gallon, 8 cents per mile. Chain needs adjusting every 4,000 miles. Takes 5 minutes with a $99 toolkit. Rear tire lasts 8 to 10,000 miles. The V-twin sounds satisfying without being obnoxious. Your neighbors won't hate you. $9,000. And people run these to 100,000 miles on basic oil changes. $50 every few months. Parts cost nothing. It's not exciting, it's not high-tech, but it's the bike that never complains. Long commute and comfort, low running costs. That's why people keep buying them. Fifth on the list is the BMW F900XR. 105 horsepower. Completely unnecessary for commuting, but passing on the highway is effortless. 492 pounds. Heaviest gas bike here, but stable at speed. Here's the reality though. Service every 6,000 miles runs $1,200 to $1,800 per year. Insurance $450 annually. Rear tire wears out in 6,000 to 8,000 miles because that power is too tempting. You'll use it, then you'll pay for it. But people still buy it. Why? Adaptive cruise control and electronic suspension cost $1,500 extra, but they actually deliver. You hit a pothole, the suspension soaks it up before you feel it. Stop and go traffic. You set the cruise and relax. Your wrists thank you. 56 miles per gallon isn't bad for 105 horsepower. Tank is small at 15.5 liters. 190 miles of range means filling every 3 to 4 days. Seat adjusts, works well for tall riders at 32.5 inches. The BMW badge matters to some people. That 105 horsepower makes boring commutes feel like events. You pay premium service costs for premium features. If that's worth it to you, this is the luxury commuter. Just go in knowing what it costs. At number 6, the Honda Super Cub C125. 9 horsepower and 240 pounds wet. If you're laughing, you haven't done the math yet. 130 miles per gallon in real use, which works out to about 3 cents per mile. A $5 fill-up genuinely lasts a week on most commutes. The 3.7-liter tank might seem tiny, but that's still 100 miles of range before you need to stop. Step-through design means you can ride it in office clothes without gymnastics, and the auto clutch means your left hand never gets tired in traffic. Insurance runs about $150 a year. People run these to 50,000 miles without touching anything beyond oil changes. It starts instantly, even at -10 degrees. Seat height is 30.7 inches, so flat footing is easy for almost anyone. The catch is obvious though, 60 miles per hour is the absolute limit, so highways aren't really its thing. For short, city commutes under 20 miles, this bike makes a lot of sense. You'll spend more on coffee than fuel, and tire life hits 12,000 to 15,000 miles. It's the bike that quietly makes car ownership look ridiculous for short trips. Number 7 is the Royal Enfield Hunter 350. 20 horsepower from a smooth single cylinder, 390 pounds wet. The seat sits at 27.2 inches, which is the lowest on this entire list. If you're 5'2" and tired of tiptoeing at stoplights, this is your bike. 85 miles per gallon translates to about 4.3 cents per mile, and the 13-liter tank gives you 230 miles between fill-ups. At $4,700, you're looking at a price point that actually makes sense when gas savings are part of the equation. Tubeless tires make roadside flat repairs simple with a plug kit. No tow truck drama. Insurance runs about $180 a year. The retro styling consistently gets attention. People assume it's vintage when it's just well designed. Service every 6,000 miles at independent shops keeps maintenance costs reasonable, and the rear tire lasts 10,000 to 12,000 miles. The limitation shows up above 65 miles per hour when vibrations start to creep in. Highway riding isn't ideal, but anything under that speed feels smooth. For city commuting where style matters and budgets are tight, it delivers on both fronts without pretending to be something it's not. 8th on the list, the Yamaha MT-03. 42 horsepower and 368 pounds wet. What stands out immediately is how this thing moves through traffic, like it takes gridlock personally. 61 miles per gallon works out to around 6.5 cents per mile, and the 14-liter tank provides about 185 miles of range between stops. The 2025 model fixed the seat situation, which was a known issue before. Now, it's actually comfortable for reasonable commute lengths instead of feeling like a park bench. Seat height sits at 31.5 inches, pretty neutral for most riders. The assist and slipper clutch makes repeated shifting and stop and go almost thoughtless, and insurance averages around $200 a year. The handling is what people remember. Tight corners, sudden lane changes, quick gaps in traffic. The bike just responds without hesitation or weight fighting you. City streets stop feeling like a chore and start feeling like why you bought a motorcycle in the first place. It tops out around 100 miles per hour, so mixing in highway sections works fine even if long-distance touring isn't the goal. Yamaha's Y-Connect app tracks fuel and ride stats if that matters to you. The rear tire typically lasts 8,000 to 10,000 miles. It's a bike that makes commuting fun instead of just tolerable. Number 9 is the BMW G310R. 34 horsepower and 349 pounds wet. Light enough that parking lots stop being stressful and start being easy. 67 miles per gallon translates to about 5.5 cents per mile, and the 11-liter tank gives you roughly 160 miles of city-focused range. The seat sits at 30.9 inches. low enough to build confidence if you're newer to riding. ABS comes standard, which matters more in wet conditions than people admit. Insurance runs around $300 a year. And yeah, that BMW badge adds a premium even though the bike is built in India. Service every 6,000 miles typically costs $200 to $300. The throttle can feel snatchy, especially when it's wet out. A $200 booster plug smooths out the response if it bothers you enough. The dealer network is thinner outside major cities, so parts sometimes take a few days to show up. Not a deal breaker, just something to know going in. What you actually get is 34 horsepower that cruises comfortably at 70 miles per hour with decent low-end torque for traffic. The fit and finish feels more premium than the price tag suggests. Rear tires last 9,000 to 11,000 miles. It's a capable city bike that doesn't feel cheap when you're on it. Rounding out the top 10 is the Honda CB300R. 73 miles per gallon comes out to about 4.8 cents per mile, and the 10-liter tank provides roughly 160 miles of range for city riding. 31 horsepower and 322 pounds wet. The weight is low enough that tight U-turns and parking stop, feeling like a skill check. The seat height is 30.3 inches with an upright riding position that keeps you comfortable on shorter trips. Full LED lighting helps with visibility during night commutes, which matters more than most people think until they're squinting through traffic at dusk. Insurance typically runs around $180 a year. Service intervals are every 8,000 miles at about $100 for basic oil and filter changes. The seat is thin. After 45 minutes or so, you'll want a gel pad. Costs about $50 and solves it. There's no low fuel warning light, so you'll need to keep an eye on the gauge instead of ignoring it like most modern bikes let you. The bike tops out around 80 miles per hour, which handles occasional highway sections but isn't ideal for long stretches. What makes it appealing is the neo-retro styling, combined with genuinely lightweight. The power delivery is smooth and predictable, builds confidence rather than intimidation. Rear tires last 10,000 to 12,000 miles. It's straightforward, keeps costs low, and handles daily chaos without making you regret the commute. Number 11, the Kawasaki Z400. People buy this instead of a 300 because they want that extra kick without jumping to a full 650. 45 horsepower feels noticeably stronger for highway merges and passing, but it's still light at 366 pounds wet. The TFT dash with Bluetooth actually gets used for navigation instead of being a gimmick, and that matters when you're routing around traffic daily. The mirrors buzz above 7,000 RPM. Annoying, but bar end weights for $49 fix it completely. The bigger issue is the suspension. It's firm enough that you're feeling every manhole, cover, and pothole on rough commutes. Some people like that connected feel. Others just want comfort and smoothness over broken pavement. 61 miles per gallon, 14-liter tank gets you 185 miles between stops. Insurance $220 a year. Service every 7,500 miles at around $150. Rear tires last 8,000 to 10,000 miles. The assist and slipper clutch makes stop and go easier on your hand. It's peppier than the competition without being intimidating. The tech feels modern and useful, and the price doesn't make you wince. For riders who find 300 slightly underpowered but don't want a heavy 650, this sits in a sweet spot. The KTM 390 Duke at 12. This one comes with a warning label. 46 horsepower that lunges off the line like you insulted it. The quick shifter in traffic is fantastic, no clutch fumbling at stoplights. Ride modes help when it's wet. 366 pounds, corners aggressively. Everything about the way it moves feels sharp and immediate. Service intervals kill it for commuters though. Every 3,000 miles at $350 from the dealer. Daily riding? You're looking at over 1,000 annually just in scheduled maintenance. And that doesn't include tires or unexpected fixes. Insurance $320 a year because the bike has a reputation for attracting aggressive riding. Rear tire wears out in 6,000 to 8,000 miles from all that power you can't help but use. The seat goes numb after 45 minutes. The power delivery is peaky, which means it's thrilling on back roads but kind of annoying when you're stuck in stop-and-go traffic trying to stay smooth. 60 miles per gallon from a 13.5-liter tank. About 175 miles of range. 32.7-inch seat height works for taller riders. People still buy it because traffic light launches feel incredible, and the quick shifter makes city riding effortless. Just know the maintenance costs going in. 13 is the Suzuki GSX 8S. 82 horsepower. That's overkill for a commute where you're averaging 35 miles per hour, but highway merges become completely effortless. 445 pounds wet makes it stable but heavier to maneuver in tight parking situations. The 776cc parallel twin is smooth. No hand-numbing vibrations even after long rides. It feels refined in a way smaller bikes can't match. Here's the trade-off. That power bumps insurance 20 to 30% over smaller bikes, around $300 annually depending on your record. Rear tire wears faster too, 5 to 7,000 miles, because you'll absolutely use that torque when it's available. 56 miles per gallon isn't bad for the performance, works out to about 7 cents per mile. 14-liter tank, 170 miles of range, means weekly fill-ups. Service every 7,500 miles runs about $200. The bi-directional quick shifter makes stop and go seamless, up and down shifts without touching the clutch. The seat gets firm on longer commutes, but the upright ergonomics keep your back happy for hours. 31.9-inch seat height. The bike has riding modes for different weather conditions, traction control, all the tech you'd expect from a modern middleweight. Why buy it? Torque everywhere means you're never hunting for gears in traffic. It's comfortable for longer office runs, and the tech actually works instead of being marketing fluff. At 14, the Royal Enfield Meteor 350. This is the cruiser on the list. 20 horsepower, 421 pounds wet. It's not fast. 0 to 60 in 11 seconds means you need to plan highway merges carefully and leave space for acceleration. But 99 miles per gallon at 3.5 cents per mile makes up for a lot of the performance limitations. The 15-liter tank gives you 300 miles of range, which is absurd for daily use. On short commutes, you'll fill up maybe once a month and spend less than $20 doing it. The plush seat is genuinely comfortable for 2+ hours, which is rare at this price point. Cruise control is a surprise feature here, and the USB port means your phone stays charged without extra accessories. Insurance $170 a year. Service every 6,000 miles at around $100 at independent shops. Seat height is 30.3 inches, low and accessible for most riders. The riding position is relaxed, arms at a natural angle, no aggressive lean. Vibrations creep in above 70 miles per hour though, and that 20 horsepower really shows when you're trying to accelerate onto a busy freeway with impatient traffic. It's cheap to own, comfortable for long stretches, and works great for surface streets where you're not in a hurry. The engine sound has character without being obnoxious. Rear tire lasts 10 to 13,000 miles. Number 15 is the BMW G3 10GS. Same 34 horsepower engine as the 310R, but in mini adventure form. 375 pounds wet, taller stance at 33.5 inches. The extra height and softer suspension soak up potholes and curbs better than the street version, which matters if your commute includes rougher roads. 67 miles per gallon, 5.5 cents per mile. 11-liter tank gives you 160 miles of range for urban loops. The tall seat is a problem if you're short. It tips easier at stoplights when loaded with a backpack or groceries, and the high center of gravity fights you in parking lots during slow-speed maneuvers. Same snatchy throttle issue as the R model exists here too. Insurance $310 a year, slightly higher than the street bike. Service every 6,000 miles at $250, which includes the premium you pay for the BMW badge. Why does this exist for commuters? The upright position is comfortable all day without strain. The suspension handles bad roads without complaint or harsh jolts. And the adventure bike stance gives you confidence over curbs and rough pavement that would rattle a street bike. It's a BMW with GS styling and heritage for less than a used economy car. But that tall seat limits who can ride it comfortably, and the tippy feel in slow-speed maneuvers is real and noticeable. If your commute includes genuinely bad roads, or you're tall and want maximum upright comfort, it works. 16 is the Yamaha XSR 300. It's basically an MT-03 with retro styling, which sounds fine until you realize you're paying extra for looks without gaining anything practical. 42 horsepower, 370 pounds wet, 61 miles per gallon. The retro bars look cool parked outside your office, but they numb your wrists after 90 minutes of riding. That's a problem for longer commutes. Seat height is 31.9 inches, neutral enough. Insurance runs about $210 a year. Service every 6,000 miles at $150. The rear tire lasts 8 to 10,000 miles, same as the MT-03. Here's the issue. You're getting MT-03 performance and practicality, but with bars that cause fatigue and no actual storage or commuter advantages over the naked version. The retro aesthetic gets compliments, sure. People will ask about it at stoplights. But when you're stuck in traffic with tingling hands, the cool factor wears off fast. If style matters more than comfort and you're doing shorter rides, fine. For serious daily commuting though, the MT-03 makes more sense for less money. This is style over substance. and your wrists will remind you of that choice every single day. At 17, the Honda Grom. 10 horsepower, 224 pounds wet. It's a toy that happens to be street legal, tops out at 60 miles per hour if you tuck and pray, which means highways are absolutely terrifying. 134 miles per gallon sounds incredible at 2.6 cents per mile, and a 5.7-liter tank still gives you 160 miles of range somehow. The problem is obvious. 60 miles per hour maximum means you're illegal on any highway with a 65 mile per hour limit, and you're a sitting duck even on 60 mile per hour roads. No wind protection whatsoever. Your helmet gets buffeted violently above 40 miles per hour, 30-inch seat height, both feet flat easily. Insurance, $140 a year, cheapest possible. Service every 4,000 miles at $80. People love these for parking anywhere, filtering like a bicycle, pure grin factor on short 10-mile blasts through the city. The fuel economy is absurd and it never breaks down. But as a serious commuter, you're limited to surface streets only. You arrive windblown and exhausted from fighting, buffeting, and any route planning becomes a puzzle of avoiding fast roads. It's fun, it's cheap, it's hilariously impractical for anything beyond neighborhood errands. If your entire commute is under 40 miles per hour, maybe. Otherwise, this is a weekend toy pretending to be transportation. 18 is the Zero FXE, first electric bike on the worst list. 46 horsepower with instant torque, 298 pounds wet, feels quick and nimble. 100 miles of city range sounds adequate until winter hits. Then it drops to 65 miles in cold or rain, and suddenly your commute planning involves constant math and anxiety. 7.2 kilowatt-hour battery charges overnight at home, but that takes 9.7 hours on level 2, unless you spend $1,000 for the fast charger that cuts it to 1.5 hours. 32.6-inch seat, upright position. Insurance $400 a year because electric bikes cost more to insure for some reason. No routine maintenance, which is great. No oil, no chain. But that battery degrades over time and replacement costs are brutal. The range anxiety in cold weather kills any reliability factor. You're constantly checking the battery percentage, planning where you can plug in, worrying if you added an extra errand. Silent operation is cool until you realize people don't hear you coming and step into your path constantly. The instant torque is fun for about a week. Then it's just your daily commute, but with charging stress added. If you have a short commute, live in warm weather year-round, and have guaranteed charging at home and work, maybe it works. For everyone else, the range, anxiety, and cold weather performance drop make this more stressful than practical. 19 is the Harley-Davidson Livewire 1. 105 horsepower, brutal launches, made with 110 miles per hour top speed, 562 pounds wet. That's cruiser heavy, which makes parking lots a workout and tight urban maneuvering exhausting. 146 miles of city range drops to around 100 miles at 40 degrees Fahrenheit in traffic. 15.5 kilowatt-hour battery. DC fast charge gets you to 80% in 40 minutes if you can find an Electrify America station. Level 2, charging at home, 11 hours. Hope you're not riding tomorrow morning if you forgot to plug in tonight. 30.9-inch seat, low Harley ergonomics with feet forward position. Insurance, $600 a year. Minimal service needs, but when something breaks on an electric Harley, good luck finding affordable fixes. The weight is the killer for commuting. 562 pounds of electric cruiser in stop-and-go traffic, in parking garages, doing U-turns. The range drops 30% in cold weather, so winter commuting means even more charging stops. Haptic feedback that simulates shifting is a gimmick that gets old immediately. It's a premium electric motorcycle with Harley soul and smooth power delivery. Cruise control helps on highways. But for daily commuting, the weight and charging dependency turns simple errands into logistical challenges. The price tag doesn't help either. 20, dead last, is the Energica Xperia. 80 horsepower continuous, 125 miles per hour top speed, 570 pounds wet, heaviest bike on this entire list. 22.5 kilowatt-hour battery gives 159 miles combined range, drops to 110 miles in cold or wet conditions. 34-inch seat height, tall and wind-protected with touring fairings. CCS fast charging hits 80% in 40 minutes, but you need to find charging stations every other day for daily commuting. No level 3 charging at home for most people. Insurance $700 a year, highest on the list. Service is minimal and motor-focused, but at $20,000 plus, this is a serious investment for a commute bike. Why is this the worst? 570 pounds makes every parking lot a paddle hell struggle. The tall seat and adventure touring ergonomics are designed for highway miles, not urban commuting. You're hunting for charging stations constantly, unless you have a very short commute. The Aero fairing cuts wind fatigue on long tours, which is great, except you bought this for commuting where that doesn't matter. It's an incredible electric touring bike. Epic range for EVs, luxurious ergonomics, smooth power delivery, fast charging capability. But as a daily commuter, the massive weight, plug dependency, tall seat, and touring focus make it the least practical option here. Buy this for weekend adventures, not your office run. 20 bikes. One conclusion. The best commuter is the one you'll actually ride every day. Your 40-mile urban commute needs different tools than someone's 10-mile highway run. Pick what actually fits your life, not what looks cool on Instagram. Subscribe and follow for more. See you on the next one.